A good day, everyone, especially to our instructor, Dr. Inchi Behelag, ma'am. This video of mine consists of my report in EID 234 and this is prepared by yours truly. I am Divena Bindinila, and this topic is all about theory of behavior. Consists of subtopics. Two subtopics. First, humanistic psychology, and second is operant conditioning. But before we're going to tackle about these two, okay, first we're going to touch what is theory of behavior. And now we're going to tackle what is theory of behavior. Okay, what theory of behavior is all about? Okay, it describes how specific behaviors are acquired and strengthened, weakened, and shaped by context. For example, if a student gets praised for answering a question correctly, they are more likely to repeat that behavior in the future. Okay, that's the example of theory of behavior. But now let's proceed to humanistic psychology. But before we're going to go deeper about humanistic psychology, first we're going to touch what is psychology alone. Okay, psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior. It is a broad field that encompasses a wide range of topics that but here in my report, let's focus in humanistic psychology. Okay. Humanistic psychology is a perspective within psychology that emphasizes the inherent goodness of people, the importance of self-actualization, and the centrality of the human experience. It focuses on individual experience, personal growth, and fulfillment of potential. Another meaning of humanistic psychology is that it is a branch of psychology that focuses on the individual, their feelings, experience, and understanding of themselves in order to solve problems. Okay, here are some examples of humanistic psychology. First, self-actualization. Second is person-centered therapy. Okay, the self-actualization is the process of realizing and fulfilling one's potential and capabilities, making it a central concept in humanistic psychology. Okay, later on I will be discussing self-actualization. And the second one is person-centered therapy, a therapeutic approach that emphasizes empathy and unconditional positive regard to facilitate personal growth. Okay, in person-centered therapy, there are a uh, it can be discussed later on. Okay, so don't forget that the father of humanistic psychology is Abraham Maslow. Let's continue with self-actualization. Okay, in self-actualization, it is achieving the fullest use one's talents and interests. Uh, Also, that human needs will only be fulfilled one level at a time. And every level of needs should be attained before move to the next level. This self-actualization can be seen in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, it states that human needs will only be fulfilled one level at a time. The second is person-centered therapy can help with various type of mental distress. Okay, first, the anxiety, Second, the psychosis. Third, dementia. Fourth, depression. And fifth, post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is under with person-centered therapy. Then another example of a situation of person-centered therapy is that the client and the therapist work as a team. The therapist is supportive and avoids the use of judgment. He or she suggests or solve for the client's problem. Then the other one is the term client is used on purpose in this type of therapy to avoid implying that the person seeking therapy is sick. Using the word client instead helps to empower the person seeking help by emphasizing that they are in control of their life and future and are capable of overcoming any difficulties they face. Also, ma'am, answer in self-actualization occurs when individuals reach their full potential. And now let's proceed the hierarchy of needs. This hierarchy of needs is a work of Abraham Maslow. So let's see the illustration. Okay, first, as I told you a while ago that there are levels to be fulfilled in hierarchy of needs. First, physiological or the basic needs, which is the breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, and excretion. The second is the safety level, security of body, employment, resources, morality, the family health, and property. Then the third one is the love and belonging, can be found in friendship, family, sexual intimacy. The fourth level is the STEM level, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, and respect by others. And the last one, which is the self-actualization, is we can found here the morality, the creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance of facts. In self-actualization, of course, when individuals reach a state of harmony and understanding because they are engaged in achieving their full potential. So, in this pyramid of a hierarchy of needs, so one level at a time. If you are done in the first level, so proceed to the second level. Okay, we are done in humanistic psychology. Now, let's proceed to the second topic, which is operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a behavior is influenced by its consequences. So the proponent of this conditioning is the father of operant conditioning is B.F. Skinner. Okay, here are some example. Behavior that is reinforced or rewarded will likely be repeated. However, behavior that is punished will occur less frequently. So, that is the operant conditioning. Let's proceed to uh, another slides. Okay. Also, Skinner introduced a new term into the law of effect, which is reinforcement, that state that behavior that is reinforced tends to be repeated or strengthened. However, behavior that is not reinforced tends to die out or be extinguished or awakened. And also, a Skinner has a box, also known as an operant conditioning chamber. It's a device used to objectively record an animal's behavior in a compressed time frame. And animals can be rewarded, or punished for engaging in a certain behavior such as livers, liver freezing for rats. Okay, here is the Skinner box. So we can found here the rat inside the box. There is a food outside the box. Then there's a speaker, the signal lights, the lever, the food dispenser, the shock generator, and electric grid. So one mistake of a rat, so there will be a uh, reinforcement, or it can be strengthened or weakened. So that is the example of Skinner box. Then I would emphasize to you the law of effect. The law of effect, behaviors that lead to positive outcomes are more likely repeated. If it is positive outcomes, so it is repeated. But behavior that leads to negative outcomes are less likely to be repeated. So that is law of effect. Skinner identified three types of responses or operants that can follow behavior. First, neutral operants. In neutral operants, responses from the environment that neither increase nor decrease the probability of a behavior being repeated. The second one is reinforcers. Responses from the environment that increase the probability of a behavior being repeated. Reinforced can be either positive or negative. Then the third one is punishers. Responses from the environment that decreases the likelihood of a behavior being repeated. Punishment weakens behavior. Here are key concepts of operant conditioning. Operant conditioning occurs when learner's behavior is followed by a consequence or reinforcement. First, positive reinforcement. Second, negative reinforcement. And third is punishment. So in positive reinforcement, increases the frequency of a behavior when applied. Example, if you finish your homework early, you get to go to the movies as a reward. And in negative reinforcement, increases the frequency of a behavior when removed. Example, to stop the buzzing sound in your car, you have to roll up the window. And the last one is the punishment. Increases the frequency of a behavior. Example of this is your parents take your cell phone away for 1 day each week to lower your phone bill. Okay, we are almost there. So to sum up it all, uh, humanistic psychology is humans just as individuals are unique beings. So don't forget that the father of the humanistic psychology is Abraham Maslow. And in operant conditioning, frequency of behavior is controlled by its consequences. And this proponent of this operant conditioning is B.F. Skinner. Okay, that would be all. And thank you for listening, Ma'am and Sir. Have a good day again.